Hi, everybody. So today's podcast is going to be fun because I'm going to go as to why censorship is a bad thing, why people getting stuck on ideology versus people is another bad thing, why we move to mighty networks, the problem between correlation and causation. Like I'm going to put everything into one spot. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about the MMR vaccine and autism. Ooh. So am I an anti-vaxxer or not? Vaxxer or not? I'm probably an anti-vaxxer, but I am not an anti-vaxxer. But that's going to be the fun. So the MMR vaccine, what is it? It's measles, mumps, and rubella, right? The three viruses put into one, given to kids between, I think it's 9 months, between 9 months and a year, something like that. And there's been an entire thing about that because a lot of parents have accused that vaccine of giving their kids autism. And so it became a big thing because a lot of parents came out and said that. And a famous doctor went at it, did his own study and said, yes, that is true. The MMR vaccines causes autism. He was wrong, but where are the parents? You cannot dismiss like this thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands parents like that out of the MMR vaccines in the name of science. Like the idea, just by branding them as anti-vaxxers, like they don't know what they're talking about. Those people know their kids. They've seen what happens to those kids after the vaccine. You cannot dismiss that. To say that in the name of science is actually completely untrue. It's in the name of ideology. It's in the name of saying vaccines are a good thing. That's all. Because science is predictions versus observation. It requires you to look at anything with a critical eye and try to see what is happening. Are vaccines a good thing? Obviously. Are vaccines necessary? Obviously. I lived in Africa. Trust me, we need a polio vaccine. Right? But that being said, you cannot discard out of hand that talk about the MMR vaccine and autism and pretend nothing happened. That is not to say the vaccine causes autism. And that's the problem with ideology over people, is you don't get to have a critical eye on anything, and therefore you don't get to fix or solve any issue. So, is it wrong to say the MMR vaccine causes autism? Yes, but not for the reason necessarily that you think. Nothing causes autism outside of genetics. That's the problem, first of all, with that sentence, is we are phrasing autism as a disease, as a problem. It is not. Autism is a function, and I will explain the function of autism in the next podcast. Autism as a function. What people say when they say, my kid got autism, is they mean ASD, they mean autism syndrome disorder. What they're talking about is a very specific set of symptoms that is an asocial behavior, problem with speech, with a number of things. Those are symptoms of a function gone astray, like anxiety, depression. Those are all functions gone astray. Autism, ASD, autism syndrome disorder, is the same thing, which means what is a function and therefore can be good for you can go too far and become bad for you. That's everything in life and the human system. So in that case, the vaccine gave my son autism is a ridiculous statement. You cannot catch autism. It's a function. You don't catch a function. You have that function. The question is, how far are you on that spectrum? And if you go too far, certain very specific symptoms start to emerge. So instead of saying the vaccine caused autism, which is wrong, they could have said the vaccine has caused a spike in negative symptoms. Now, is that true? Well, it turns out it's the very real possibility that it is true. So, I will explain all this more clearly in the next podcast, but let me give you the short one on that. Autism, I've seen to be at least ASD, the symptom disorder, is related to the ratio of glutamate, a neurotransmitter, the most common neurotransmitter we have in the body, and GABA. Right. That's the relationship. That relationship, glutamate to GABA, is actually going to be another Julien's Corner I'm going to talk about, because we see that, for example, in fibromyalgia. We see that in panic attacks, in anxiety, in the chronic pain, in chronic fatigue, in so much things. This is actually seems to be the cornerstone of a lot of issues behaviorally, is that ratio glutamate to GABA. And we definitely see this in ASD. For example, if you do not have GABA, you have to understand how this works. Glutamate is the accelerator, right, on the car, and GABA is the brakes. That's how this works. You need to have too much glutamate to produce GABA, right? So you need to have an accelerator that is strong enough to cause the need to create brakes, right? If you don't have the brakes, the car starts to go too fast and start to behave erratically. And that's where we see ASD. For example, when it comes to speech, when I talk to you, it's like music. I have to play the silences. I cannot just talk like this and everything. Then you can't listen. So my tone of voice, up and down, the stop between words, all this is actually a function of GABA. If I don't have GABA, I can't put the brakes where they need to be. Speech becomes incoherent, slurred, and all that. Exactly what you see in ASD, right? But it's not an autism problem, because autism is a function. It's a ratio glutamate to GABA. Again, I will explain that very clearly in the next podcast. What does that interest us with the MMR? Because so let me go back. Glutamate transfers into GABA. You cannot just take GABA, by the way. That won't work, because all you'll do is take it back and transform it into glutamate, which is the accelerator again. I will do a podcast on that as well. So, but the point is, we need a ratio glutamate to GABA. To turn glutamate into GABA, I need something called the glutamate acid decarboxylase. It's a GAD. It's an enzyme that will turn glutamate into GABA. Right. Without that enzyme, I cannot produce GABA. And that's where we see a lot of issues. So that enzyme is extremely important. It just happens that the Rubella virus causes a degradation of that enzyme by up to 50%. That means that the Rubella virus attacks, in a way, that enzyme and diminishes it by its function by up to 50%. So, if you had a kid already pushed far onto the spectrum of autism, which is just a function of learning, right, and you were to give him the MMR vaccine, you would give him a weak version of the Rubella virus, still strong enough to attack the enzyme, GAD, responsible for transforming glutamate into GABA. You have to understand that glutamate is necessary for learning. So if autism is a function of learning, that means you have already a kid with very high levels of glutamate, because he's on the spectrum. And the more he's on the spectrum, the higher the level of glutamate that is necessary for learning. But now I'm introducing an external force, the Rubella virus, that causes a problem with the enzyme responsible for applying the brakes. What would happen? You would see a spike in the negative symptoms of autism. So, that means that in that sense, the parents were right. The virus caused a spike in negative symptoms of autism. But they were wrong to say that the virus causes autism. This is the difference between correlation and causation, and where it leads to problem. But you can also see why simply pushing them as anti-vaxxers and crazy people is ridiculous. They are telling you something that is true about their kid, which means once they got the virus, they saw the negative symptoms of autism popping up in their kids. What they don't realize, because they're neurotypicals, is that the kid already is on the spectrum. And it's not a disease, it's not a negative, it's a function of learning. Their kids is already there. The problem was the Rubella vaccine targeted the enzyme that allows the kid to put the brakes on. So what you have is a kid with no brakes, hence why you see those symptoms popping up. Does that make sense? So you see the importance of science and looking at everything with a critical eye. So in that sense, yes, the MMR vaccine will cause a spike of the negative symptoms of autism, which, by the way, will subside because the rubella vaccine, at some point, you're going to produce the antibodies, defeat the rubella virus, and therefore your GAD, so that enzyme, will go back to normal levels, and those symptoms will go away. So it's a temporary spike in the negative symptoms of autism. But in the mind of those parents that are misinformed by a medical profession that obviously doesn't understand autism, is, oh, autism was triggered. No, it wasn't. It was always there because it's not a disease, it's a function. Same talk as anxiety, right? This is exactly the same idea. Do not confuse negative symptoms of a function and a disease. It is not the same. Although you could probably make a point about symptoms and diseases, but that's another podcast altogether. So, difference between correlation and causation is everything. We do not need to push people aside like this. Neurotypical parents dealing with kids on the spectrum, you do not understand what they're going through. They are not understanding their own child. Can you understand how hard it is for a parent not to relate to their own child? I'm on the spectrum. So is my daughter. I struggle dealing with her behavior, and I understand what she's going through. I went through in my teens. I had such a horrible time in my teens, and I ended up on the bridge because of that, right? Because I did not understand what was happening to me, right? It can be, if you push too far without the brakes, it can be such a difficult thing, difficult moments, just like people with panic attacks and things like that. People don't understand the desperation it takes to get into a bridge. It's just something continuous and everything. And so imagine what those parents are going through when they see their kids having a behavior they cannot understand, that they cannot relate to. Imagine the torture of a parent looking at the child, not understanding, not relating to their own child. That alone, the amount of guilt that a parent would feel. And on top of it, thinking their child is in pain, right? Is going through an abnormal situation. Imagine how hard it is for the parents. For once, have humanity and put yourself in their shoes. And they are telling you that there is something wrong with what happened. And they're right, to a degree. Right, so let's not just push those people aside. And on the other side, what they need is to be explained that autism is not a disease, that what happened, it was just a temporary spike in symptoms, that the kid is on the spectrum and that's all. And that there's nothing wrong with that. There's just a world that is not fully prepared for their capacity, and therefore there will be more work required of the parents, and that's okay. But how about we understand science correctly? How about we stop this ideology over people? How about we stop putting things into boxes? How about we get smarter? Right? If you just look at problem correctly and inform yourself, turns out you can come up with pretty good conclusions. I think I make sense when I explain why the MMR vaccine, what the relationship is with autism, right? Now you can look at it in a more subtle, in a more correct way. The information is out there. It's not that hard to find, right? But anyway, this is obviously a subject dear to my heart, so I wanted to talk about this because it will launch a few podcasts about autism and about the importance of glutamate versus GABA, which I think is the next year or two for me. I believe this is a cornerstone of, let's put it this way, a number of issues. Cool. Thank you, guys.